strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Thanks for joining me today on Commit to be Fit. I'm Susie Smith. There are many ways to cope with anxiety, and we're going to touch on a few of those procedures today. But I feel safe in saying that a majority of people have either experienced stress or anxiety at some time or another in their life, or maybe they do it every day. You know, they have stress every day. We're going to touch on that, and there is a big difference between stress and anxiety. But before we get started, I would like to introduce my very favorite all-time guest on Commit to be Fit, Susan Roberti.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Suze. It's so nice to have you on the show.
I know.
I love when Susie comes on the show because we always have such a good time.
And we get to do our October show.
Yeah, we like to sit here at the end of the year, toward the end of the year, and just kind of think about what's going on and just kind of relax. But I know with the weather changing and it getting darker earlier, a lot of people are starting to get into that seasonal affective disorder and starting to stress out. Do you ever
Yes, I do.
feel that?
I do. But I make sure that I know my disease, my depression, and that makes it so much easier when I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of just, like you said, understanding it and realizing that you do have a problem instead of trying to pretend that you don't.
You don't. Ray.
Right? But the difference between stress and anxiety I find interesting because stress is really important during your daily life. Because if you didn't have stress, if I noticed that this tree was starting to fall, I would get stress hormones that would make me get up, and I would have, you know, enough energy to run away. That's our fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you have stress every day. Your kids are in school, or maybe you're late for an appointment. But after it's over, the stress is gone. So after the stressor is gone, then your stress goes away.
Right.
But with anxiety, you know, you might be worried about a tree falling on you all day long, or any other example of it just stays with you.
It's sad.
Mm-hmm. And it stays, and
Yeah.
it's not the same as stress. Anxiety can begin with stress, but it's a whole other ball game because it has a lot of symptoms that we're going to talk about, and just try to find some ways to calm down and enjoy our lives.
Yeah, and there are ways of calming down.
What do you do when you notice that you're starting to get
Well, I think
out of breath, or
I start to if I can, I will start thinking of something that I like a lot,
mm-hmm.
you know, or a person that, you know, well, when this is over with, I can go and call,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of thing like that. And I make sure that I never feel that I'm alone.
That's a big part that I wanted to bring to people's attention today. Exactly what you said. You're not alone in this. So many of us, myself included, you know, I've experienced a lot of stress and anxiety. Stress is good to a certain point because it does help you with your daily life and to, you know, be safe. But the anxiety just hangs on. And I wanted to give some symptoms of anxiety, and then that way you can maybe tell if you're experiencing that. Decreased energy. Have you ever felt that? As we're laying across the bench.
And the night before show.
I know, we never sleep before the shows. You know, we always have to be up all night.
Yeah.
But the anxiety triggers a lot of different fight or flight neurotransmitters in your brain. And that kicks up the adrenaline, and then your body tells itself to calm down, so it starts shooting out those hormones that calm you down. So then you're, you know, just wasted after an episode of anxiety because of all the different hormone fluctuations. insomnia.
Ugh.
We're just talking about
Yeah,
that.
we do that the night before a show, too.
And things race through your head. That's hard when you're trying to go to sleep and you keep thinking that, I've got 3 more hours if I fall asleep right now, or I've got 2 more hours if I right
and
now.
I'll never wake up in time.
Yeah, you never wake up in time. That's anxiety with those constant racing thoughts. So if you have that, you might have anxiety. Also, a decreased immune system. You're more likely to catch colds and flus and just different things going around when you're stressed out and have anxiety. So if any of these things ring true to you, we're going to help you out here shortly. Digestive issues, stomach aches. You ever have that?
Well, I have to say I haven't had it since I started taking probiotics.
No,
And they do work.
Yeah.
They really do. But there was one that I got, and it's called Digestive Advantage. I tried all the other ones, but this one has it's been 5 months now, and I have not been sleeping and sit up and go,
And your stomach, it
bad.
just,
Yeah, and it does. It truly does work. They do.
That's a good point. The doctor gave my mom some probiotics. She was having stomach problems, and so you might want to check with your doctor on that. And because that is one of the most common effects of anxiety is the digestive issues. You might notice that you're getting headaches or jaw pain, and that is from clenching your teeth while you sleep. And some people clench their teeth while they're awake. And that's a sign of anxiety. If you add all these together, maybe if you only had one symptom, it wouldn't necessarily point to anxiety. But if you're having more than one of these symptoms, clenched jaws can also give you bad headaches when you're clenching your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kicks
and
up
a lot
those.
of times you do not know that you are doing this.
And then it flattens your teeth out.
Yeah,
and
you have, if you pay attention to yourself, that's another thing. Pay attention to yourself, folks. And that is something, if you can catch yourself doing that and stop it, then that will calm you down. That really adds,
Oh, to the tension in your body. Because that's a very strong muscle in your jaw. And you're using a lot of energy to clench those teeth. And I heard the other day that one thing that you can do is chew gum because that helps with stress. It gives you something to do. Perspiration and shaking. If you're the type of person that gets nervous and you're sweating and you're shaking, chances are you do have anxiety.
bad.
And there are medications that you can take. And some people can't take the medications, and that's fine. Then we just have to find other ways. But if you do find yourself having some of these symptoms that we just talked about, check with your doctor and see, what she says that you should do.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of. You worry because you worry because you worry because you worry. And if you can start to eliminate the jaw, clenching, because that was one of my favorites, and I did not know I was doing that.
You didn't know it
No. I'd be driving a car,
clenching the steering wheel.
and in my teeth. And one day I just was like, oh my Lord.
You just figured it out,
so
and it
now
just.
I tell my, as soon as I start doing it, no, we're not going to do that today. And there's things that you can really do to relieve, but it's habit-forming things, and you just have to be able to break the habit.
Yeah, it's a habit because I've seen lots of different tics on people where they either pick their thumb, they chew their lip, they have little different things that they do.
Well,
and
I
it's
think doing that's a stress release, more so than.
like a manifestation of it. It just comes out.
Yeah.
But adrenaline is a chemical in our bodies that when we do get stressed, it releases into our bloodstream. And that's for the fight or flight. And it's also, medically, it's called epinephrine, the adrenaline. But it's good to a certain point when the adrenaline kicks up because you're able to get out of the way of an approaching car or something like that, immediate danger. But if you continue to just keep that adrenaline pumping, then you've got, the tiredness because the other hormones are fighting to bring you down. But it's good for sports, adrenaline rush before you lift a weight, or maybe you're going to run a certain distance, but it's only temporary. So you don't want it to be there all the time, high adrenaline. So 3 easy ways we're going to talk about today: exercise, walk in the woods or be with nature, and yoga breathing. Those are 3 basic ways that we can kind of cope with anxiety. And I do think that, like you said, Susie, there's a lot of stigma out there when people start to talk about mental issues like anxiety or depression. But it's nothing that you should hide, because we're all, I think, living in a very stressful world right now. And we always have been, but I think we know more today than we did.
And learn about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, and I think that's the hardest thing to do.
Like what triggers?
Yeah, exactly. And I have depression, very, very deep depression. When when summer is over and fall's coming, and I get into a real funk. But I just have to sit up and take a deep breath and do the yoga, and take a deep breath and say, no, we're not going to do this, Susie. You're going to just say, you're going to get up today and you're going to do something good, or help somebody today, and believe, hi baby, and believe me, I don't want to. When you're very depressed, you just want to stay back, But it does. It helps. It really does. You just have to talk to yourself out loud. I don't care what anybody says. Talk to yourself out loud and say, you just can't do this.
And you can't. And I think that's good that you said to get out there and help someone, because when you're helping someone, you start to feel so much better about yourself, and you realize it's not as bad as it is, and it just kind of. But you want to. If you find yourself having a panic attack, which a lot of people have panic attacks, and I know when my dad died, it started like a ball rolling for me with panic attacks, and it's debilitating because you could be in the middle of a sentence and you just can't speak anymore. So the first thing that you want to do is to start breathing, because chances are you're clenching your teeth, you're holding your breath. And we're going to learn a different type of breathing today. But that's the first thing you want to do, is just start taking deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then start moving. I think movement, and you've said that before, about how you feel when you move.
And breathing isn't something that, I don't have time to do it. I got kids, I have to do this. Oh, yeah, you can.
It's only a couple minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, a couple minutes, maybe twice a day.
Just take the breath in when things are starting to crash around, and say, my favorite one is, I'll breathe in and then I'll go, I can do this. I know I can do this. And I take another breath in and let it out real slow, and then I make myself go forward.
And just start moving.
Yeah. Go forward.
See, that's exactly. Susie's got this down. That's the big thing, is don't stay in your corner of the couch. I know that's where I get in when it's really dark in the winter. I go into my corner and I read. And sometimes you just get into a funk like that. So you need to get moving and just start walking. And aerobic exercise, such as walking or running, actually helps to take the adrenaline down in your bloodstream. So that's really important, because when the adrenaline's there, it's not a good feeling. It's a real aggressive, kind of out of control feeling. And you really don't want that. And also stretching and some yoga poses. One thing I would suggest doing is trying to stand on one leg, because you don't want to have, I was going to give you some exercises today, but I thought if you're having a panic attack, you need to keep it really basic. You need to start the breath, the purposeful breathing, start moving, and once you start to calm down a little bit, try to stand on one foot and just stand there, and then switch to the other foot. And this is going to bring all of that attention to you, like you said, and into yourself, and you're going to be able to control that a little better.
When you're having an anxiety attack, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. And that's where I have learned to take a very deep breath and go, I can do this. And I emphasize, I can do this. I can. And then
You're training your brain.
Yeah, and it's taken me about 5 years, but I'm there now.
That's excellent.
I can just step right up.
But that is good when you can just, you have the tools, and that's what we want to give you today, is a tool, because this is going to start soon. It's going to get dark earlier and earlier, and if you are prone to anxiety, that's going to kick it in. So the thing to do is start purposeful breathing, get up, start walking forward, jogging, get out among the trees like we are today. Even just sitting here, I can tell it's just so relaxing, and feel the wind in your hair. Because connecting with nature, I think, is one of the main things in life that, that relax you and make you.
It's so very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's the very simple things, and we're always looking for a pill, or well, you don't understand that, and I went all through that years ago, and no one does understand, because each one of us is different.
Mm-hmm.
We really and truly are. But to find the path to get back onto is that I have to learn that I can do this. I can't. I'm a school guard, and sometimes I get screamed at by people. And I leave there and I go home, and I'm fine until I wake up in the morning. And then I go, I really don't want to do this, and I'm really scared. But then I'll have my coffee, and then I get dressed, and then I open up the front door, and I go, I can do this. And out the door I go. And it changes my whole thought process.
See, everybody's different, like you said. I think that is excellent, doing this affirmation. And I tell myself, when I start to get panicky about any, situation that's been going on, I start to inhale, and I think I'm of inhaling all positive energy. And then when I exhale, I'm thinking of all that dirty energy inside of me. So you have to have a visual or a sentence that you say. But the Indian yogis for thousands of years have thought that the nasal breathing has a lot to do with different diseases and different maladies that happen in your body. So if you haven't tried alternate nostril breathing, I'm going to show you that today. But when you breathe through the left side of your nose, that affects the right side of your brain.
Oh.
And that's the feeling side, is the left side. When you access air through the left, it goes to the right, which is the emotions and feeling. And when you breathe through the right nostril, it goes to the side where it's like rational and thinking and figuring out problems. So the yogis feel that if you do alternate breathing, because right now I'm sitting here, I'm not using both nostrils evenly. You never do. And it's so close to your brain, the nasal passages go right up into your brain and all of those nerves. So if you go with the alternate breathing, it actually helps you access your whole brain, and it helps to stimulate the different hormones on both sides, so that you're not just running on an emotional side, that your thinking side can help too. So would you want to try that?
That's cool.
Want to try some alternate nostril breathing? Now it's kind of, sorry Sus, it's kind of weird the way they do in yoga. They put two fingers, the index and the middle, down on the hand, and you have like you're just, your little pinky sticking out. And you don't have to do this. I'm going to show you how the yogis do it, and then I'm going to show you how I do it. But you'll take a deep breath in first. And you want to sit nice and comfortable and sit tall. And you're going to close off. I've already taken a breath in. I'm closing off one side of my nose. And I'm going to exhale out my left nostril. And then I'm going to inhale in my left nostril and hold that breath. And then I switch and I exhale out the left and I inhale out the right and I inhale. So you're exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and you hold it at the top. But I think it's too confusing with the fingers, and I think a lot of people have arthritis, and this is just kind of awkward. And plus, now you're going to see my OCD, but I don't like to touch my face a lot when I'm out because that's how you get a lot of respiratory things. So just kind of take your hand, take your thumb, take a deep breath in, and just block off the right side of your nose. And exhale. Inhale back through the left side and hold it there. And then switch sides. Exhale. And inhale. And let's try that one more time. So you're going to take the breath in, block off one side, exhale out, inhale in, hold it, switch, seal, exhale. Inhale in, and release. So you're going to want to do that maybe 2-3 minutes. Do you feel a little more relaxed? It gives you a little bit of a head rush, didn't it? Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that
I'm not either. You'll find this if you do it, say 10 times on each side. Just make sure you take the deep breath in first so that you exhale, inhale, hold. Exhale, inhale, hold. And that's going to really help you relax. You're going to forget all of everything around you. And it's been going on for thousands of years, and a lot of people have never heard of alternate nostril breathing.
It's true.
And I have friends that have gone through therapy, and a lot of the therapists now are starting to use that alternate.
That's unique.
It is, because we're not breathing out of both nostrils, and I can see how that, the breath and the body are so connected. Because we just don't want to do physical workouts. We want to, be able to work our brain and be calm.
And it's important to get the oxygen into the right place. Yeah. Very good.
You know why I wore blue today? It's because there are certain colors, too, that you can bring around you to help you relax. I brought a color chart with me today because colors affect your mood. Remember those mood rings we used to wear in high school? Do you think those work?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they would turn colors, and
I do.
we'd all show them to each other. And
Yeah.
But red is for passion and enhancing your metabolism. So if you want to get really fired up, wear red, or look at something red. The 3 colors that would do best for you if you're having anxiety would be yellow, because that's a real cheery color and it represents happiness. Green is harmony and stability, and blue is peace and relaxation. So that's why I'm wearing blue today. But just you can even get a blue blanket and just wrap up in it, and that helps with anxiety.
Look outside.
So, what do you think, Suze?
I think it's wonderful stuff. I really do.
I think just, being at, with nature and being at the park.
And the number one thing is being with a friend.
Being with a friend. And Suze and I like to take walks.
Yeah.
And she's a fisherman, so she likes to take me down to the lake.
I just love being,
so we
sit outside. And I don't care if I never catch a fish, I just love sitting, outside and watching all the things happen. And Susie's husband was very ill last year, and she took it like a trooper. And I know you had really bad days, but somehow,
anxiety,
some way, You pulled yourself through, and I am so proud of you.
Well, guess what? Jimmy got his PET scan back yesterday. Cancer-free. Cancer-free. We were dancing. Yeah, so he still has to get another one. But yeah, stress like that. And you recently had a friend that lost her spouse.
Yeah, yeah.
And these kinds of things happen. People get sick, and we lose loved ones, and it sets us into a really unhealthy situation. So that's why we're here today, just to let you know that you're not alone.
That's it.
And other people are experiencing kind of the same thing.
And what you are feeling is real. It's real, it's real, it's real.
And it's normal.
You just have to find a way to release it and understand it. And once you understand it, then you're just about 90% there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you learn. Because when I first got depression, I was in the hospital, and they gave classes, and I went to every single class and learned about my disease. I mean, I really learned about it. And then I wasn't scared anymore.
Because I think once you know what it is, and because you feel so out of control when it happens, but if you realize that you just need to stop as soon as you feel that spiral, stop, start the breathing, and start moving.
And we got 3 minutes.
Well, since we have 3 minutes, I brought a beautiful meditation poem that I'd like to read. So,
my girl.
if you're at home just sitting, I'd like you to just take a minute and practice your breathing. And I want to read this to you so that you can start to appreciate and feel better. This is a poem by Ralph Marston, and it's called The Goodness of Life. Though there is much to be concerned about, there is far, far more for which to be thankful. Though life's goodness can at times be overshadowed, it is never outweighed. For every single act that is senselessly destructive, there are thousands more small, quiet acts of love, kindness, and compassion. For every person who seeks to hurt, there are many, many more who devote their lives to helping and to healing. There is a goodness to life that cannot be denied. In the most magnificent vistas and in the smallest details, look closely, for that goodness always comes shining through. There is no limit to the goodness of life. It grows more abundant with each new encounter. The more you experience and appreciate the goodness of life, the more there is to be lived. Even when the cold winds blow and the world seems to be covered in foggy shadows, the goodness of life lives on. Open your eyes, open your heart, and you will see that goodness everywhere. Though the goodness of life seems at times to suffer setbacks, it always endures. For in the darkest moments, it becomes vividly clear that life is a precious treasure. And so the goodness of life is made even stronger by the very things that would oppose it. Time and time again, when you feared it was gone forever, you found that the goodness of life was really only a moment away. Around the next corner, inside every moment, the goodness of life is there to surprise and delight you. So take a moment to let the goodness of life touch your spirit and calm your thoughts. Then share your good fortune with another. For the goodness of life grows more and more magnificent each time it's given away. Though the problems constantly scream for attention and the conflicts appear to rage ever stronger, the goodness of life grows stronger still, quietly, peacefully, with more purpose and meaning than ever before. So we're kind of going to end on that today. And just take care of yourself and practice the breathing, keep moving. And remember, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Take the challenge and commit to be fit.